In 2008, a San Francisco County employee went rogue and refused to provide the passwords to the city's entire network infrastructure. This employee effectively locked everyone out of the network, potentially putting essential city services at a standstill. This case is close to me as I was involved in a small supporting capacity in the investigation. This is the story of Terry Childs, the man who held San Francisco hostage. Welcome to Lead History, where we explore stories from the dark corners of the internet. Terry Childs, a Cisco-certified internet working engineer, was a member of the San Francisco IT department, or DTIS. Though he was part of a team, he was the most experienced network administrator and essentially played the principal role in building the city's network. Childs had been tasked with bringing together the many disparate networks that ran the city. As you can imagine, the city's network is incredibly complex and runs essential services. And this was in the hands of essentially one man. On Friday, June 20, 2008, it came to a head. There was an altercation between Terry Childs and the new IT department's security manager. What caused the altercation? It was said that Childs was upset because no one had told him that the IT department was auditing his network, and he perceived it as a threat. Childs was very upset by the IT security manager's presence, ranting at her in an agitated manner. He harassed the manager, confronted her, and took photos of her with his cell phone. Concerned by his aggressive response, the IT security manager locked herself inside an office and called the DTIS COO to report the incident. At least one staffer left the site, fearing the potential for violence. "This means war and I am ready." Terry Childs. Childs called his immediate supervisor to complain about the network audit. When his supervisor did not share his concern, Childs said angrily, "This means war and I am ready." His supervisor later reported this statement to the police. In response to the IT security manager's complaint, the COO called Childs. He told him to stop interfering with her work. Childs challenged the COO's authority to conduct the network audit and was very combative. Ultimately, the COO ended up ordering Childs to leave the data center. Childs actually disputed this version of events. He claimed that the IT security manager was actually conducting secret searches of IT employee workspaces and had removed a hard drive from an office. He also denied taking photos of the manager. On July 9, Childs was in the data center connecting the police department's computer system to the new network. During his time there, police department personnel escorted him to another room for a meeting. In the meeting, the DTIS COO and an HR representative were waiting for Childs on the line. The COO told Childs that he was being reassigned and asked Childs for the user IDs and passwords to the network. At first, Childs said that he no longer had administrative access to the network. The COO knew this was untrue. When asked for backup configurations, Childs said that there were none. Later on, a San Francisco police inspector joined the meeting. He advised Childs that his failure to cooperate could be a violation of Penal Code Section 502.16. Childs made no response and they could not get any more information from Childs. As it became apparent to everyone that Childs would not provide the network passwords, Childs was then placed on administrative leave for failure to do so. Back at the data center, IT staff searched Childs' workspace and laboratory looking for the network configurations. They were surprised to find two filing cabinets that had a hole manually cut out through which cables from the data center were linked to a computer device. These devices could then permit someone to access the data center remotely. But unfortunately, their search was futile. IT personnel was not able to recover administrative access to the network and no configurations could be found. Childs was placed under surveillance and on the evening of July 12, was arrested near his home in the suburb of Pittsburgh. At the time of his arrest, he was found to have $10,000 cash on his person. Police also searched his house and workspaces and turned up 9mm and .45 caliber bullets, but apparently no weapons. Even following his arrest, Childs continued to refuse to divulge the passwords to the network. This put San Francisco in a predicament since only Childs can make administrative changes to the network. They were also aware that Childs also installed devices that allowed him to dial into the computer network remotely and could be a serious security risk. In an interesting turn of events, Childs offered to give the passwords to the then Mayor Gavin Newsom. On July 21, Mayor Newsom personally visited Childs in jail where he was given the correct network passwords and backup configurations. The mayor gave the passwords to IT and after several attempts, the IT department was able to regain access to the network. Childs was tried on the charges of disrupting or denying computer services to an authorized user. The prosecutions argued that Childs acted as if he, and not the city, owned the network. Additionally, it was found out that Childs actually had a criminal history that he did not declare. The prosecution argued that Childs thought that sole access to the network would give him job security and prevent him from being removed from the network project even with a criminal record. Based on the evidence provided, Childs put in access restrictions that allowed only him to access the network devices of the city and prevented IT personnel from accessing critical devices. It was also shown that Childs developed means to have undetected access to the network. The prosecution submitted that by failing to reveal his administrative password, Childs made himself to be a single point of failure for the network. This created the possibility that the network could collapse and thereby disrupting the city's essential services without him. Additionally, Childs applied to copyright a slightly sanitized version of city's network design and configurations as his own intellectual property. This further strengthened the argument that Childs thought of the network as his own. Childs testified in his own defense. He admitted much of what was raised by the prosecution. He admitted that he had exclusive administrative access to the network and that he lied to his supervisors and that he sought to copyright the network configurations. Childs said that he acted as he did to protect the security of the network. He believed that IT management was too lax about network security. It was noted though that he did not raise these security issues before, and ironically his copyright filing actually exposed the network to additional security risks. Childs also argued that he did not knowingly disrupt or deny computer services to an authorized user because IT management lacked the skills needed to implement and manage network. Childs also argued that if he was reassigned, no one at the IT department was qualified to manage the network. In August 2010, Childs was sentenced to 4 years in state prison. In May 2011, Childs was ordered to pay almost $1.5 million in restitution to the city of San Francisco. It should be noted though that Terry Childs did have some supporters even within the IT department. All he wanted to do is protect the system, according to a former supervisor. I do not believe he would do anything to compromise the safety and performance of the network to which he has dedicated his life, according to an IT department HR manager. People claim that Childs believed San Francisco's network was his brainchild, and that refusing to allow others to access to his inner sanctum was in the best interests of the city. Unfortunately, that belief may have led him astray. I have known a lot of network or systems administrators that have the same "this is my baby" mentality. Unfortunately, Terry Childs went to the extreme. I believe that in his heart, he truly believed what he was saying. I think he was really trying to protect the network. But good intentions sometimes do not lead to good results, as what happened here. So where is Terry Childs now? Unfortunately, I could not find any recent information on him. If you have, please post in the comments so I can make a follow-up video. It's been great revisiting this story with you. It brought back good memories of San Francisco. Thank you for joining me in exploring the dark corners of the internet. This is Lead History. Till next time.